Hey guys, great to see you here, Mr. Smith. In today's slide deck, we're going to get right down to it. We're going to talk about what you need to do to create a good, authentic research project on climate science in our physics class. So I'm going to give you three things. Thing number one is, how do you get a general clue? Now, if you're sitting there right now saying, I actually like the questions and I feel good about the topic that I've got, you may not need to do this step. You may already have a general clue about what your project is. So you may be ready to move on. But what I wanted to do is show you something. Let's just say that you didn't really have a great feeling about what you wanted to do. So I was talking with somebody about looking at other countries and how are other countries being affected. So what I'm going to do is Google climate change in Mexico. And I'm just going to look at the first thing that comes up. And not surprisingly, the first thing that comes up is Wikipedia. And I wanted to tell you something. Science people are totally not afraid of Wikipedia. I know that it's not a perfect source, but it's a really good source for trying to get a general idea about something. And you just read it. And so already in here, I see that there's precipitation, temperature, economy. And what makes me wonder is when I see it talking about the livelihoods of small farmers, it makes me wonder about the crisis at our southern border and frankly at Mexico's southern border, because South America has really been hit by drought. And if I wanted to take my project into a direction where I looked at the effect on people of drought across Central and South America, I'd find some really good resources. So, three things. Real quick, if you want to get a general clue, read Wikipedia. Use Google, and if you're stuck, ask me. Okay? Thing one. Okay, number one, you've got a clue. Number two, this is today's class. You're going to find a reading in the Gale database I'm going to show you, and you're going to write a summary on it. Okay, so there's two kinds of things. What I've done is I've pulled together like encyclopedia type documents. A backgrounder is the tag I've given to it. They are great for getting the background science that helps you understand the topic you're going to talk about. And that'll be the first part of your paper. Now, there's also other things that I've pulled in there, like audio and video and other little readings that are smaller, that are going to help you figure out stuff like who is this affecting and other issues like you would really want to know about if you're trying to write this paper. So let me go take you in there. What I've got is our Canvas page here, and I want you to dive onto the module. So that's what the way I'm going to ask you to find this. And we're on class number 79. So under the heading that says Summarize an Article, you're going to find out that I've got a bunch of little hyperlinks right here. And what you can do is click on those. Those are the folders. So if you're in the general category of greenhouse gases, click on that folder. If you're in the general topic of oceans, click on that folder. So I'm going to go to greenhouse gases just because it was first. And what this is going to do on your iPad is pull up this list of, I don't know, maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20. I have to tag these right here, these bottom ones. But I'll show you what's what. So we've got the first thing right here, greenhouse gas emissions. It's labeled a backgrounder. That's like an encyclopedia article. Totally good place to start. You're going to write a summary on that. Let me go and pick something else, though. Let me go and pick North America climate change and just show you a little bit about what these look like. These backgrounders are awesome because they really give you already pulled out the main ideas that are in the article, so you can quickly figure out if this article is the one you want. Now, this is where you find out, hey, Mr. Smith, I looked at all the backgrounders. None of them look interesting to me. Let me know, and I can pull more, okay? So let's go and put that away, and I want to show you the next thing, which is what do you do when you're dealing with a journal? So the third thing you're going to do is to use a journal article in your paper. The big thing to understand is that it's not going to be your paper. I want you to read the journal article, I want you to pull it apart, and I want you to learn how to understand it. And that should be a page. It can be a piece of your journal, your research paper, but it doesn't have to be your whole paper, because journal articles are usually really narrow and sciencey. That's why they're valuable, but it's also why they're not the greatest, most fun reading. And I think your paper should turn out to be something that you'd want to share with somebody. So what I'm going to do is leap on over and show you what I've done here. In the greenhouse gas folder that you can see, I've got some journal articles. Here's one, assessing methane emissions from global spaceborne observations. If you want a different one, I'll find one for you. So the very first thing I'm going to suggest that you do is that you click on the Google Drive and save this to Google Drive. And what you're going to do with it then is mark it up to your heart's content. That'll make it a lot easier for you to go ahead and transfer information to the template that I'm going to ask you to submit to class. Okay, so let's go read this thing. In the past 2 centuries, atmospheric methane has more than doubled and now constitutes 20% of the. And let's just say you're reading along and you come up with this word and you're not really sure what that means. So, anthropogenic climate forcing. So, what I'm going to suggest that we do is go and look that up. So, let's go look that up and let's go search the web and see what Google has to say about it. Here's the point I wanted to make. I put in climate forcing. What that did was that it put the word anthropogenic into context. So I was looking at a research satellite called GRACE, GRACE, and I guarantee you, if you type in GRACE, you're not going to get a research satellite. But if you type in climate change and GRACE, then you'll be in the ballpark. So that's one of the things I want you to do is just type stuff in context. Anyway, here's what I find is that human caused or anthropogenic. Oh, so that's what that's what anthropogenic means, right? Human caused, being generated by humans. Okay? All right, so that's a couple of things there. So anyway, we'll see you in class with all that. You're going to start on your regular article and dive on that today, and let's keep rolling. Take care. Bye-bye.